If you don't choose your priorities, the world will choose them for you and it will choose poorly. This is a quote by Mark Manson. And that quote really resonates with me because learning what to commit to and what to ignore has been the most powerful thing that I've done in running a full-time studio practice for 5 years. I remember when I started, even though I graduated from art school in 2008, when I started actually taking it seriously, as in doing it full time, running my studio practice, and growing my artistic career, it's definitely has a different mode of existence than having a full-time job and doing art on the side, still showing with galleries. Your way of thinking has to be different. You cannot run with the same way of thinking as you did showing art part-time, which is what I did until I decided to do this full-time 5 years ago. I remember when I started, I got lost in this wheel of accumulating knowledge because in art school, they don't ever teach you about the business side because the track, I remember my art professors used to tell me, you either work a regular job in a creative field and show part-time, or you can get your MFA and you will be able to teach art. And I knew that's something MFA I had no interest in as far as teaching art. So I went the route of working as a designer. I used to work as a director of design and product development for a few years until opening my own design business. And then ultimately ended up selling my business at the height of its growth because I had less and less time to focus on the actual creation of art, which is what I really wanted to do with my life. So I got caught in when I started 5 years ago full time. I got caught into this wheel of constant learning. And learning more can be productive, but it's also a way of procrastinating. What I realized was depth over dabbling will create a much stronger artistic practice. Because as we witness fraying of the current art systems, what I believe is incredibly important for artists today to actually build something that you see it as a replacement or a better version of something that maybe currently exists, and keep iterating the practice until it feels right to you. For instance, even last year when I did a couple of videos here on YouTube, I was talking about open studios, and they can be a really great way to establish yourself locally. What I realized is every year, if you're focusing on something that you want to be better at, you will be better off as an artist focusing on a few things for an extended period of time and then slowly incorporate other things while the first established roles are pretty concrete in your practice. So for me, this year means not applying to open studios because I have a solo show coming up in 5 weeks that I have a lot of things to do. So I am in full lock-in mode. I have a show in New York in the fall, and then I have my own private studio launch that I do also in the fall. So I have those 3 focus areas this year. What you prioritize and how you establish your practice, because oftentimes there are so many tutorials. Do this and do that. Do this to appeal to these galleries. Do so-and-so to appeal to local people. The moment I really focused on this, my career started taking off. What I realized are a few things. Number 1, sometimes your art is not going to appeal to local people, and that's okay. That does not mean your art is bad. It just means it's not the right fit for what people are looking for. This year so far, we're only in February, I sold a large original work and got 2 large commissions. Not a single one of these collectors live locally. I don't know where you are locally, but sometimes it really depends on location if you're only doing local things. And then you can go into this rabbit hole of what am I doing wrong, slashing my prices, doing just a different way of looking at it from a defense mode instead of offense mode. I think it's so important to have clarity without having an emotional attachment to how things should be. Because oftentimes we have one version of the way we would love it to be, but also the reality is different. And if you want to create a full-time art career and run a full-time studio practice, you're kind of oscillating between those 2 worlds. And I've noticed that most of my collectors actually don't live locally. So for that reason, my thinking has to be very different than to just think locally. And so I think it would be helpful for every artist to honestly assess. That being said, initially when you start, you do have to apply to many things to even establish where your collector resides, while simultaneously working on creating local routes as well. I just don't think it's one way or another. I think as you're running a fluid studio practice, as you're building new avenues of opportunities for yourself, you're also kind of navigating this other complete different collector land that has to be kind of tied into it without being emotionally attached to an outcome. And obviously, a lot of things are not going to be known until you experience it. Fear and confidence both rely on believing in something that hasn't happened yet. And we all know that growth requires failure. We almost want to manage our failure. And a lot of times we make decisions from our mindset today. But the moment you know something different, your ways of what you should be doing forward is going to change. So if your priority is to have a full-time studio practice, what helped me is, okay, in order for me to have a full-time studio practice, obviously I need, first and foremost, to focus on the most honest art I can create. Number two is to find other people who will relate to my work. And that means so many different things. That can mean show at different galleries or apply to different gallery calls. And I'll link in the description a couple of websites where you can go to apply to for fine artists that I have found the most success with. Because you can't assume a collector match with just what you know, because oftentimes artists judge collectors by themselves. There will be some crossover, but your collector is not going to be like you, because you as an artist, you're going to think very differently from your collector base. Some themes will resonate, absolutely. The color palette, it can be so many things that will resonate, but I realize for myself, I cannot prejudge or assume before checking first. What happiness means, in my opinion, for an artist is not solving less problems, but solving better problems. Because most people aren't stuck because life is hard, but I think it's more because distractions feel more safe than solutions. For instance, we can complain about the art world. It is so much easier to go online and complain that the way you did social media 2 years ago is not working anymore. Of course it's not. There are a lot more people online. There are a lot more artists who are also building their own ecosystems. And I think that's fantastic. I think that's the way we build not just artistic communities with integrity, but we also build a way for artists to run their studio practice the way it aligns with them. Not creating work just because it's going to sell, not because this gallery tells you, oh, this is selling, create more work like that. That is a recipe for burnout, for disillusionment, and for you to not be in integrity with yourself as an artist. And oftentimes these distractions can be a form of escaping and feel like you're actually accomplishing something through research, through looking at tutorials, how to do this and how to do that. And if you don't have priorities, what happens is, and believe me, because I've fallen into those holes many times, when I see myself clearly, I have to pull myself back, because that's not a way to move your studio practice forward. What I've really seen a difference is when I selected specific areas of focus for an extended period of time. For me, a year usually is a good barometer for seeing if something works or not. Oftentimes we post one and like, oh, this post didn't do well, but you posted it 2 days or 3 days or even a week ago. That's not a good barometer to check if it resonated or not. I feel like the arc needs to be so much longer with consistent practice of doing something in order for you to say, okay, I've put in my work for a whole year. Is it working, or if it's not working? And I think that's how you really gain clarity. And you will see that if you might not even like showing with galleries. For me, I love showing with galleries, but it has to be specifically aligned galleries. I have no interest in signing a contract with a gallery for long term. I have found that that works the best for me because it provides a lot of freedom for me to explore with different materials, not create the same things. It's just does not align with me at all. I like exploring constantly. I feel like that's the way you allow yourself to grow as an artist, because the way you even think 5 years ago is very different who you are today. For me, I have 2 kids. I have to be incredibly judicious with my time in the studio. So 3 areas of focus for a whole year, it works so well. And the consistency of showing up. Also, don't listen to everyone. Who you take advice from also really, really matters, because if they're not where you want to be, their opinion is not important to you. And even if they may be, they are also dealing with very different things that you may have. None of us are the same. No artistic career goes the same path. You can watch for inspiration, reflect, use it as a mirror to yourself to say, oh, okay, that makes sense. How can I incorporate this into my studio practice? Because you may have different priorities. And if saying no makes you feel guilty in some areas, when you try to hone in on 2 to 3 very real focus areas, you were probably trained to neglect yourself. But if you're not used to doing something, I feel like boundaries feel wrong until you repeatedly do them, and then they feel healthy. Then you know how that feels. Before you implement them, you don't even know what boundaries feel like, because if you've been neglecting them and always saying yes to everything, and it just becomes chaotic, and you look back at the year and you didn't move the needle anyway. You're just trying many, many, many things and nothing's sticking. And then you get frustrated, and some of artists give up and just get regular jobs, and slowly they're dying inside. There's nothing wrong with getting a job. For some people, depending on the priority, it can be an incredibly important way to build that bridge to create a studio practice. Some people need the stability of a regular job because they may not like the business side of running a studio practice. That does not make them worse artists. That doesn't make full-time artists better artists at all. It just means that you have very different priorities and modalities and maybe strengths. Most of the things that we are taught as talent are skills. And I really learned that because I have taught myself how to code that I didn't know. I have taught myself how to build websites before right now you could just drag and point. That's what I learned coding for. I taught myself how to do taxes for my art, or to do the business side of the art practice. And all of those are skills. It's also a skill to be discerning, to actually being honest with yourself and deconstructing from a way of expected behavior versus actually aligned behavior. Because your values are not proved by what you chase, but I think they're proved by what you're willing to give up. The more clarity you have for yourself for an extended period of time, you will see if this is actually working for you, even if it's hard. Most things in life reside in very simple things. And it's not a different productivity system that will help you be a better artist. It's the simple things, like getting enough sleep, eating well, getting exercise, and showing up in your studio, even when you don't feel like it, and making that be the priority. Those simple things are going to move your artistic practice more than any of the tips and tricks. Doing those simple things will create the fertile soil for you to have your clarity that you can really build on based on what you prioritize in your studio practice and how you want to show up as an artist. And realizing that every art career looks different, every single one. I hope this helped, and I'll see you next week.